So in today's video, this is going to be a little different for you guys. This is actually a double feature. I bought both of these locomotives together from the Lionel store. So in the last couple weeks, the Lionel store had a warehouse sale that they always have. And I was browsing through their website. I got the email notifying me about the sale, so I went and looked at their website, and I found these two locomotives that I decided to buy. The prices were pretty good. The Berkshire that you see in front of you on the left is a LionChief Plus Rock Island Berkshire, and the New Haven locomotive on the right is a LionChief RS-3 locomotive. So the part of the reason why I bought these engines was, well, there are a couple of reasons. I bought them because they were on sale. That was the main reason. So like I mentioned before, these locomotives, I bought them from the Lionel store, and they were listed on the website as being samples. I don't exactly know what a sample means, other than the only thing I can gather is that it was either an engine that was on display. These engines were on display in the store, or they were samples that ran around a layout in the store. And I know that the New Haven RS-3 was run because you could see the marks on the wheels when I took it out of the box. So I know the RS-3 had been run, definitely. But on the website, they said that because these are samples, these are non-refundable. So you buy them as is. Of course, these engines run great. There's no problems with them, which I'm happy with. Also, the price is pretty good on for instance, the RS3 I only bought for $75. They had some LionChief engines on their website that didn't have remotes that were only $45. I didn't buy any of those. Starting with the Berkshire, this engine runs from the remote control that comes with it, and it also runs via Bluetooth. It runs from the universal LionChief remote, which I do not own. I'd like to eventually get one because I own a number of these LionChief and LionChief Plus locomotives, and I've got a lot of remotes lying around, so it'd be nice to actually have a remote that can control multiple engines. So eventually I will be getting the universal remote. But this engine, this is a nice locomotive. It's one of the things, the reason why I bought this locomotive for kind of a strange reason is that I like the drivers on this. It's kind of like a nod to the old post-war locomotives. It's got the Baldwin disc drivers on it, which I really like the look of. I've got a couple of locomotives that I actually haven't done videos on that I'd like to maybe do some videos on in the future that have the Baldwin disc drivers. I think it's a neat looking wheel design. This is your standard LionChief locomotive. It has the fan-driven smoke. It has the electrocoupler on the rear that you can open from the remote. One of the things that I noticed on this locomotive that I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't have my other engine was that this tender is actually the exact same tender as my MPC era 784 locomotive that I did on my previous video. If you guys are not aware, I did a video on the MPC era 784 Hudson locomotive that was made back in 1986. If you guys missed that, you can click on the link here on the upper right hand corner. But if you look at the two tenders, they're exactly the same. They have the same details. They have the same handrails. They have the same footsteps on the corners. Even the hatches and everything is the same. The only thing that is different is the coal load is different. On the 784, it's kind of like a shiny, not as well detailed coal load. And the coal load on this LionChief Plus is a more realistic looking coal load. But other than that, they are exactly the same. On the underside, of course, on the 784, there's no speaker, just a switch. But the LionChief Plus locomotive has a speaker where the sound comes out. So I thought that was really cool how Lionel has brought back this this particular tender from the from the 1980s. On the New Haven locomotive, this has two crew figures inside. It has no smoke because it's a LionChief engine. It has the lighted headlight. Depending on what direction the engine goes in, the headlight turns on. The crew cab is lighted inside. This locomotive is fairly light, and one of the disappointing things about it, and what I found in other LionChief engines, is that it doesn't have a really good slow start. It kind of lurches forward very quickly when you apply the throttle. One of the things that I found that was interesting with this locomotive is that it only has one motor in it. Now, I don't know if if this locomotive typically comes with two motors. This one does not. If you look at the forward truck, where the motor would go, there was just a hole. It's just got the pickups. Now, this locomotive was, of course, a sample from Lionel, so maybe the normal versions did have two motors. I'm not sure. If anybody would like to chime in and let me know if these engines typically come with two motors, I'd love to know it. But this engine does not, so it makes it actually fairly light with only having one motor. But it's a pretty good puller, and it runs pretty smooth. Probably my favorite features about this locomotive is that it's specific to the road name. So when you play the crew talk sounds, which I'll show you guys when I'm running these engines, the crew talk is very specific to the railroad, which is really cool, very unique, and I like the horn on this engine. Another interesting thing is the RS-3 came in its styrofoam insert, but there was no orange box. The styrofoam insert was placed directly into the brown shipping container, that shipping box that Lionel uses, but there was no orange cardboard box that you'd normally see with the locomotive, but it was in its original styrofoam. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Cedar Hill Yard, New Haven number 544 has arrived. We're ready for the next run. On the overnight fast freight from Maybrook to New Haven. Is our coal hopper and boxcar coupled up? Twist that throttle, we gotta go. Your route is fine. Good eye signal indication. Roger that. All clear ahead. at Devon. Are we still clear all the way? Proceed for rolling. Out. Out of Hopewell Junction is a piece of cake for this diesel. Are we clear to the main line at Devon?